Welcome to this tutorial for the Lloyd's Contract Quality Triage Tool, or CQTT. My name's Mark Haverty. I'm a business architect at ImageFast, and I've been part of the Lloyd's and ImageFast joint CQTT project team. In this tutorial, I'll be taking you through the key features of the CQTT as an administrator, from managing branding to setting configuration items, managing hot topics, and managing users. Before viewing this administration tutorial for the CQTT, it is advised that the user tutorial for CQTT is viewed first. This can be viewed online at www.imagefast.co.uk/CQTT-tutorial. Let's first look at how to manage branding within CQTT. To access the administration options, you must be logged into CQTT as an administrator. Click the drop-down on the user menu and you'll see the administration options below the profile and logout options in the user menu. Select branding from the administration section of the menu. The branding configuration screen loads and we can see the options available to us, from changing primary and secondary colors, changing the logo, editing the login page message, and editing the account lockout message a user will see if their account is locked out. Let's now look at how to change the colors within CQTT. The primary and secondary colors within CQTT can be changed to match your own corporate branding as required. Here we can see the default colors, primary being the dark blue and secondary being this teal color. These can be changed as follows. To change the primary color, click on the primary color picker, which will open, and you can change the color by moving the sliders and the transparency bar, or you can enter a value manually with the RGBA boxes below the color picker. These can be cycled through to the hue, saturation, luminosity, and the hex value pickers as well. So, for example, I may want to change my primary color using the RGBA values of 190, tab 20, tab 86, and then have a secondary color again with the RGBA selector of 233, 111, and 2. Once I've got my colors, I can scroll to the bottom, click the Save button, and if I scroll back to the top, you'll see that the branding, the colors, the primary and secondary, have been updated straight away. Let's now look at how we can change the logo within the CQTT branding configuration screen. To change the logo, click the Choose File button and select the logo that you'd like to use. I'll change the default CQT tool logo to a sample logo I've chosen here. This is a transparent PNG file, and it's recommended that transparent files are used where possible so that you can change the color of the primary background without having to worry about the logo looking poor. It's also recommended that the logo size dimensions are 260 pixels wide by 80 pixels high where possible. Once the logo has been changed, click Save. And if I refresh the screen, we'll see that the CQT tool logo has updated to be my logo. I can easily change that back again by selecting Choose File, selecting the CQT tool logo, scrolling down, clicking Save, refreshing the screen, and we'll see that that's changed back. The CQTT login page has a useful information panel which contains text that can be modified to meet your own requirements. We'll now look at how this can be done through the branding configuration screen. To modify the login page message through the branding configuration screen, simply locate the text and either edit as required or delete and replace with your own message. Once the message is in place, click Save. And to ensure that the update has been made, log out and you'll see your new message in the Useful Information panel. In addition, a custom account lockout message can also be configured by editing the text in the account lockout message section of the branding configuration screen and hitting Save once the message is in place. We'll now look at the list of configuration items which can be set to meet your own requirements within your instance of the CQTT. From the User drop-down menu, select Configuration under the Administration heading. This loads the configuration list and allows you to set the values of the various configuration items to meet the requirements of your own managing agent's instance of the CQTT. The configuration list is searchable. Here we can see I've searched for the word password and the list has been filtered to show the 3 configuration items where the word password appears. To edit the value of a given configuration item, simply select the item from the list. This opens the item edit form on the left-hand side of the screen, as can be seen here. In this example, I'm editing the value of the user account lockout period value from 30, and that would be 30 minutes, to 60 minutes. So in this scenario, if a user tries to authenticate to the CQTT and puts the wrong password in more than 3 times, their account will be locked out for 60 minutes rather than 30. Having saved the new value, we can see that the item for user account lockout period has been updated to 60 minutes as shown from the 3rd bottom from the list. Details of each of the configuration items which can be edited and managed within the administration settings of the CQTT can be found in the CQTT user guide. We'll now look at how to manage hot topics within the administration settings of CQTT. From the drop-down user menu, select Hot Topics from the list under the Administration section. This loads the Hot Topics list, as can be seen here. And before we edit the list of hot topics, just a quick reminder from the CQTT user tutorial that hot topics are search words which run across every document that is put through the CQTT modular checks. These can be added and edited and deleted and configured within this section of the screen to meet your own managing agent's requirements. In this scenario, we can see that cyber and nuclear have been defined as hot topics. Therefore, every time a document is put through a check, the words cyber and nuclear will be highlighted in the hot topics section of the CQTT results screen. As we can see, there is a search function for the hot topics list, which will allow you to locate hot topics should you have a longer list than we can see here. To create a new hot topic, click the Create Hot Topic button, and this loads the new hot topic form on the left of the screen. We simply then need to enter the hot topic that we want to look for every time a document is put through a check. So in this scenario, I'll use the word terrorism. Simply click Save, and the hot topic is added to the list, as we can see here. We can see the date it was created and the date that it was last updated. I can also click on terrorism, which will load the same form, and I can either edit it, or by clicking again, simply delete the hot topic from the list. When deleting a hot topic, the confirmation window appears. I click Confirm, and the hot topic is removed. Finally, we'll now look at how to manage users within CQTT. As before, from the User drop-down menu, select Manage Users from the Administration section. This loads the users list, as can be seen here. The list of users has a paging control which is similar to the documents and activity list you'd have seen in the CQTT user guide. So I can page between the users that I have defined within my instance of CQTT. To view more details of a user, and we can see some information here like their full name, their description, their email address, the date the user account was created, the date it was last updated, and the current status. Here all of these users are active, and over here we can see we have one which is disabled. To view more information about a user, simply click on the row, and that loads the user edit form on the left of the screen. Here I can either enable or disable an existing user. I can add or remove classes of business that they're able to work with, and I can add or remove user roles. Additionally, if they're a new user and they haven't had their activation email, or they've received their activation email but not actioned it quickly enough, we can resend an activation link to allow them to complete the user setup process. Here I'll just click cancel, and that takes me back to the user list. To create a new user, click the create a new user button, which loads a similar form, and here we can see we must enter a user's email address and their full name and a description. So they must have a valid email address, which I'll select mine again, and my full name and a description as required. When I click save, my user account will be added and an activation email will be sent to me with instructions on how to complete the setup of my user account. If I click cancel, because I already have a user account created for me, you'll notice on the user list there's no option either from the list or from the user details form to delete a user account. And this is by design, so we may have members of staff that leave. However, if they've run checks historically, we'd want to keep their user account intact for auditing purposes and reporting purposes. Therefore, we can't delete user accounts, but we can disable them so that they can no longer log in.